So financial activities are the activities that result in a change in capital and borrowings of the enterprise. Debentures redeemed. Okay, so because it is zero now, so it is understood. So here they have not given anything, so it is understood that it is zero. A company might borrow from the outsiders, such as issuing of debentures, bonds, loans. So it may be long-term as well as short-term loans. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram PU College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. My dear students, today we are in the last session of your 6th chapter, that is cash flow statement from part B of your accountancy syllabus. So already we have discussed few of the concepts in your previous 2 sessions. So let us quickly recall what we have discussed in your previous session. So in a previous session, I have discussed about the investing activities, and also we had solved an important 6 marks problems on investing activity. So as I have already told you, from this chapter, definitely you will get a 6 marks problem. But if you see the old question paper, most of the time they have asked a question on operating activities as well as financing activities. So today I am going to discuss about financing activities, and we shall solve few of the problems on financing activity. So go through the problems in detail, because normally financing activity for 6 marks, financing activities problem will be asked. Okay, so in a previous session we have discussed about the investing activities. So what are the adjustments you have to make and how to solve a 6 marks problem. Now let us continue with the session. So classification of cash flow statement. So we are done with cash flow from operating activity, cash flow from investing activity, and this is the last part of this chapter, that is cash flow from financing activities. Now let us see what is this cash flow from financing activities. So financing activities already you know. Suppose if you hear a word finance, so suppose if you take a company and the term finance, normally that comes to our mind is our shares as well as debentures. So anything which is dealing with the financial assets, that comes under financial activities. Now let us see what is this financial activities. So financial activities are the activities that result in a change in capital and borrowings of the enterprise. Suppose if you borrow, your capital increases. In the same way, suppose if you lend amount to the outsiders, your capital decreases. So anything that result in increase or decrease in capital, so that comes under what? Financing activities. So financing activities are the activity that result in the change in capital and borrowings of the enterprise. So your capital, suppose if you borrow from the outsiders, your capital will increase. In the same way, if you lend to the outsiders, your capital decreases. So anything that result in change of capital, that comes under financing activities. Now let us see few of the examples for cash flow from financing activities. So examples of cash flow arising from financing activities are, so cash receipts from issuing shares. So normally I have told you, when you hear the word finance, the first thing that comes to your mind is your shares. Okay, so cash receipts from issuing of shares and other similar instruments. Cash receipts from short-term as well as long-term borrowings. So a company might borrow from the outsiders, such as issuing of debentures, bonds, loans. So it may be long-term as well as short-term loans. Cash payment for buyback of equity shares. So a company might raise its capital by buyback of equity shares also. Cash payment of short-term as well as long-term borrowings, including redemption of debentures, bonds, preference shares, loans. So loans payment may be long-term loan or short-term loan. So anything which is paid to the outsiders in the form of debentures, bonds. Okay, so these comes under financing activities. Next, cash payments of dividend, both for preference as well as equity shareholders. Of course, when we have borrowed money from the shareholders, we have to pay the dividend. So the dividend payment to those equity as well as preference shareholders comes under financing activities. Next, cash payment for the interest on loan borrowings such as debentures and interest on short-term borrowings such as bank overdraft and cash credit. Suppose if the company have borrowed loan from the outsiders for which the interest has to be paid, so that also comes under financing activities. In the same way, change in bank overdraft and cash credit, payment of preliminary expenses. Now, overall, you have to remember anything which is related to financial activities. So that comes under cash flow from financial activities, where it may be issue of shares, debentures, bonds, raising of funds, borrowing of loans, payment of interest, repayment of capital amount, payment of dividend. All these are termed as what? Financial activities. So that result in change in the capital as well as borrowing of an enterprise. So all these activities are termed as what? Financial activities. Now let us move on to the problem directly. So let's see what are the questions they have asked in your previous question paper in relation to your financial activities. So from the following information, cash flow, calculate cash flow from financing activities. So equity share, they have given us 2 years, where in 2022 equity share was 5 lakh and 2023 it was 8 lakh, which means that they have issued the equity share again, so that it has increased to the extent of how much? That is 3 lakh. So that will be your 8 lakh minus 5 lakh. Next, preference share, earlier it was 2 lakh, now it is 3 lakh. Again, issue of preference share, how much? 1 lakh they have issued again. So it has increased. So plus you have to do. Debentures 4 lakh it was. After that in 2023 it is 3 lakh. In the sense they have paid the debentures. So repayment of debentures. So this will be plus and this is also plus because it has increased. Whereas coming to the debenture it is minus 1 lakh. Because it has decreased. Secured loan, earlier it was 3 lakh, now it is 2 lakh, which means that decreased. So secured loan, they have paid the secured loan. So repayment of secured loan, that is minus 1 lakh. So hope you are clear. Here 8 lakh minus 5 lakh, that is plus 3 lakh because it has increased. Here 3 lakh and 2 lakh plus 1 lakh, 3 lakh and 4 lakh, that is minus 1 lakh, 2 lakh and 3 lakh minus 1 lakh. Again, dividend paid during the year, that is 1 lakh. So you have to minus, paid it as. So cash outflow. So we have to calculate cash flow from financing activities. So we shall solve the problem here. So you will write the heading, cash flow from financing activities. Cash flow from financing activities. So you will start with equity share capital. Now it has increased. So issue of equity share capital. So first one is issue of equity share capital. Issue of equity share capital. So how much? Plus 3 lakh. Earlier it was 5 lakh. Now in 2023 it has increased. So plus 3 lakh. Plus 3 lakh. Next, second one, preference share capital 2 lakh and 3 lakh. 1 lakh it has increased. So issue of preference share capital plus 1 lakh. Issue of preference share capital, that is plus 1 lakh. Next one, debentures. Earlier it was 4 lakh. In 2023 it is 3 lakh. In the sense they have paid the debentures of 1 lakh. So minus 1 lakh. So repayment of debentures. Repayment of debentures, it is minus 1 lakh. Then again secured loan also, earlier it was 3 lakh in 2022, but in 2023 it is 2 lakh, so minus 1 lakh. So repayment of secured loan. Repayment of secured loan. And the amount is minus 1 lakh. Clear? So 4 done, plus 3 lakh plus 1 lakh, minus 1 lakh and minus 1 lakh. And the fifth one is, so we have paid, dividend paid during the year, that is 1 lakh. So dividend paid. Dividend paid it is, so cash outflow, so minus, and the amount is 1 lakh. Minus 1 lakh. So 3 lakh plus 1 lakh, 4 lakh. 4 lakh minus 3 lakh. So 4 lakh minus 3 lakh, it is plus 1 lakh. So 3 lakh plus 1 lakh, 4 lakh. 4 lakh minus 1 lakh, that is 3 lakh. 3 lakh minus 1, 2 lakh. 2 lakh minus 1, that is 1 lakh. So this is positive amount. The answer you got as positive. So it is cash inflow. Cash inflow from financing activities. Financing activities. So hope you are clear. Very easy problem. Just you have to compare 2 years and you have to see whether it has increased or decreased. Suppose if it has increased, you have to take it as plus. If it has decreased, you have to take it as minus. So hope you are clear with this problem. A very simple problem. Now moving on to the next problem. From the following particulars, calculate cash flow from financing activities. Now here they have given debentures 16 lakh and here it is 20 lakh. So for this there is a calculation because during the year there was a debentures redeemed. So how do you take closing debentures plus debentures redeemed minus opening debentures? So this you have to calculate. So you'll get the exact amount. Next, preference share capital. Earlier it was 6 lakh. Now it is 10 lakh. So it has increased to the extent of 4 lakh. So plus 4 lakh. Okay. So now for this we shall do a note there. So we have to prepare a note for debentures. So note calculation of debentures. Now how do you take closing debentures? How much? 20 lakh. Closing debentures, that is 20 lakh plus we have debentures redeemed. So plus debentures redeemed 2 lakh plus debentures redeemed, that is 2 lakh. So it will be 22 lakh minus opening debentures. Minus opening debentures. So that is 16 lakh. So 22 minus 16. So it will be 6 lakh. So 16, that is plus 4, 20, 20 plus 2, 22. Yes. So this will be the debentures. Okay. So how do you write debentures? Now you got 6 lakhs. So this is what? Fresh issue of debentures. So we'll write debentures. D-E-B-N-T-U-R-E-S. Debentures issued. So we'll write debentures issued 6 lakh. Now here you have to write cash flow from financing activities. Cash flow from financing activities. So this was a note. You have to take this amount as issue of debentures. So your first one was debentures, relating to debentures. So we'll write first is issue of debentures, in the bracket note. So how much we got? Issue of debentures 6 lakh. So issue of debentures is 6 lakh. Now coming to the second one, preference share capital. Earlier it was 6 lakh. Now it is 10 lakh. So issue of preference share plus 4 lakh. So this is plus 6 lakh. Next, issue of preference shares. Issue of preference shares. So you can show the calculation. 10 lakh minus 6 lakh. 10 lakh minus 6 lakh. So it will be plus 4 lakh. Done? Now, next, during the year, company redeemed the debentures. So, redemption of debentures, how much? 2 lakh. Redemption of debentures. So, redemption means payment. So, minus 2 lakh. So, now it is 6 plus 4, 10 lakh. 10 lakh minus 2 lakh, that is 8 lakh. So, this is what? Cash inflow from financing activities. Cash inflow from financing activities. Cash inflow from financing activities, that is rupees 8 lakh. So, hope you are clear. So, when you have debentures like this and when the debentures is redeemed, so you have to calculate like this: closing debentures plus debentures redeemed minus opening debentures. Then you will get the exact amount. That is how you will calculate. So, the cash inflow from financing activities is rupees 8 lakh. Now, moving on to the next problem. From the following particulars, calculate cash flow from financing activities. Here also we have equity share capital 20 lakh and 30 lakh. So, let us see whether anything is given on equity shares. No, nothing. So, it is how much? 20. Earlier it was 20 lakh, now it is 30 lakh. So, plus 10 lakh. So, it has increased. Issue of equity share capital, that is plus 10 lakh. Next, long-term loan. So, earlier it was 9 lakh in 2020 and in 2021 it is 16 lakh. But for this long-term loan repaid, so how do you take? Closing long-term loan plus long-term loan repaid 4 lakh minus opening. So, then you will get the exact amount, for which we have to prepare a note here. With interest they have given, so we have to add the interest. So, long-term loan repaid it is. So, with interest they have paid. So, 20,000 and paid dividend 15,000. So, both have to deduct. Okay, so we shall calculate the note first. So, this is for the note. So, note, that is on long-term loan. Long-term loan. So, here also you will take the closing long-term loan. Closing long-term loan. Closing long-term loan is 16 lakh plus a long-term loan repaid, that is 4 lakh. Long-term loan repaid, that is 4 lakh. So, overall it is 20 lakh. 16 plus 4 minus opening long-term loan. Opening long-term loan. So, minus opening long-term loan. So, opening long-term loan is 9 lakh here. So, 9 lakh. So, how much you will get? 20 minus 9. So, it is 11 lakh. So, this will be the long-term loan. Long-term loan borrowed. So, hope you are clear. How do you write? Closing long-term loan 16 lakh plus long-term loan repaid. So, 16 plus 4 it is 20 lakh. 20 minus opening long-term loan 9 lakh. So, it will be 20 minus 9, 11 lakh. So, 11 lakh will be long-term loan borrowed because the amount is positive. So, you have to write here cash flow from financing activities. Cash flow from financing activities. So, we shall start with equity share capital. So, first one is, now let us see whether it is issue. Yeah, it is issue of equity share capital. Issue of equity share capital, issue of equity share capital plus 10 lakh. So it has increased, so plus 10 lakh. Next is related to long-term loan borrowed, that is plus 11 lakh. Long-term loan borrowed, that is plus 11 lakh. Then we have during the year long-term loan repaid, so minus 4 lakh. So third one is long-term loan repaid. Repaid, so when they pay it is cash outflow and the amount is minus 4 lakh. Then we have with interest, interest also repaid, so paid, interest paid, how much? 20,000. Fourth one is interest paid, that is minus 20,000. Then we have dividend paid, 50,000. So dividend paid minus 50,000. So the net result will be cash inflow or outflow from financing activities. So let us see how much. 10 lakh plus 11 lakh. So it is 21 lakh. 21 lakh minus 4 lakh. 21 lakh minus 4 lakh minus 70,000. So it will be 16 lakh 30,000. So this is 16 lakh 30,000. And the amount is positive. So it is cash inflow. Cash inflow from financing activities. Cash inflow from financing activities. That is 16 lakh 30,000. So hope you are clear how you have to solve the problem. Now moving on to the next one. Yes, from the following information, calculate cash inflow from financing activities. Now share capital they have given how much? 10 lakh and 15 lakh. So again they have issued share because earlier it was 10 lakh, now it is 15. So 5 lakh they have issued. So plus 5 lakh. Issue of share capital plus 5 lakh. Debentures, earlier it was 2 lakh, now it is 0. So debentures redeemed. Okay, so because it is 0 now, so it is understood. So here they have not given anything, so it is understood that it is 0. So debentures redeemed. So minus 2 lakh. Next, bank loan. In 2018 there was no bank loan, but in 19 there is 1 lakh. So bank loan borrowed. So how much? 1 lakh. So plus 1 lakh. Loan borrowed. Bank loan borrowed plus 1 lakh. Dividend proposed and paid during the year. So dividend paid you have to minus. It is a payment. Dividend tax paid. So this also you have to minus. Okay, so let's solve the problem. Cash flow from financing activities. Cash flow from financing activities. Now the first one is equity share. So issue of equity share capital plus 5 lakh. Issue of equity share capital, that is plus 5 lakh. Next one is debentures. So here redemption of debentures 2 lakh. Redemption of debentures, that is minus 2 lakh because it has decreased. Next, bank loan. So bank loan borrowed, that is 1 lakh. Bank loan borrowed, it is plus 1 lakh. Then we have dividend proposed and paid. So dividend paid 1,50,000. So dividend paid is minus dividend paid minus 1,50,000. After that, dividend tax paid 15,000. So it is also minus. So dividend tax paid minus 15,000. Let us calculate. So 5 lakh plus 1 lakh, that is 6 lakh. 6 lakh minus 2, that is 4 lakh. 4 lakh minus 1,50,000 minus 15,000. So it will be 2,35,000. So this is also positive. Your answer is positive, 2,35,000. So what it is? Cash inflow. Cash inflow from financing activities. Cash inflow from financing activities. So this is how you will solve the problems on financing activities. So as I told you, definitely you will get a 6 marks problem under your section C. So most of the time they have asked you problem on operating activities as well as financing activities. Very easy problem to score your 6 marks. So my dear students, hope you have understood today's session. See you all in my next session with a new concept. Till then, take care. Thank you.